if they want to have some trading agreements, you can have them, but maybe you can take the example of the English, to have your own currency, to in a way to control the value of the money. Mm-hmm. So you can be a little bit like partners with the Europeans. You don't have to go inside. They need you anyway. So it's important to find the right cards to stay partners, and the country to be in your hands. Because if you go in Europe, you don't have your country. The laws, the decisions are coming from Europe. You have to follow the rules. This is the deal.
Istočnik, 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 istočnik.
Welcome to the first ever episode of Istočnik in English. My great honor is to introduce you Panagiotis Tourlos, my friend from Greece, owner and runner of family business in tourism at the island of Milos. Welcome.
Thank you, Marco. It's an honor to be here.
It's my honor. I said he's a friend of Serbian people and the guy who likes Belgrade a lot.
Friend of humans, and I still hear my soul knocking in this city. It's very important.
It's nice to hear that. I will start from, if I may say, you were born in 1977 in Athens, Greece, and you spent your childhood in Athens.
Yes.
After that, you moved to island of Milos. If you don't know where island of Milos is, go to Google Maps and you will find it. And what I want to talk to you about is how you perceive Greece nowadays, and compared to your childhood years, 80s, maybe 90s.
I will tell you a small story about it. I was born, like you said, in Greece, in Athens, and our childhood was very simple. We were playing with the toys that we can build. We didn't have so much, but we were happy. My grandfather was a builder of the holes to have the water for the city. And my uncles, they were butchers. They had small businesses for the process of fish and meat. And because the family of my mother was 9 kids, and we were a big community, all the sisters and brothers. So our toys was to help all this process of work and to make it like a game. And in it we could play in the streets. It was a simple and nice life.
Yeah, I suppose so. I had the same childhood here in Serbia. What can you compare the kids in Greece nowadays to your childhood? Is there any difference?
Actually, it's not we can make a comparison about it. It's something completely different. Greece start to change a lot about in 95, 96, start be something different. With the corporations, with Europe, the life in Athens start becoming more fast, more stressful. They put us in the system of work all day, and we were working for living, but the life is to live and to work. So I left Athens when I was 23, and for someone in my age it was crazy. And I take my brother and my family, and I wanted my brother, my little brother is 31. Now we have 13 years difference. I wanted him to live the childhood that I had. So I moved my castle a little bit more inside. And we went to Milos from 99. So
99, yeah, it's interesting year. You know what happened in 1999 here in Serbia.
Yeah.
And do you remember this? Did you follow? Did you follow what?
I was in the army then, and all of us, we were very upset about the situation in Serbia, because it's not only the relations that we have from the history. A lot of people, they don't know that we fight the Germans together, the partisans and the Greeks in the mountains. Actually, your job was more difficult because the geography of Serbia, it's too open from Subotica until Beograd to come the Germans. We had the mountains. We could resist a little bit more. But all Europe opened the legs about this. We still have this thinking about what happened in Serbia.
Yeah, and you know that there is just I don't know, a few months ago I had an interview with one pilot from Serbia, and it was made in day. We did it on 23rd of March this year. It was anniversary of this. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's.
I'm trying to find the right words and.
Yeah, and what happened? We were talking about actually about the.
Actually, I found the right word. The first time that I came in Beograd before 6 years, a friend of mine, she showed me a picture when she was in the bunker rooms to avoid the bombing of the Americans, and it was like a target, and down she had right why. I think this is the only explanation I can give to this.
Yeah.
Why? What we've done to you.
Yeah, it's true. It's civils and innocent people get hurted.
And it's the honest of the kids.
Yes.
This woman, she was 13 years old then.
And the interesting story is about one officer. I don't know what his title was in army of Greek army, but he by his own will refused to be the part of that force who bombed the Serbia, and he didn't want to. I forgot the name of the guy, but there is one, let's say, special bond from 1999 which connects Serbian and Greek people. You are maybe the best person to ask, as a man who occasionally visits Serbia, Belgrade, but you also, if I remembered correctly, you also traveled all around the Serbia, not only Belgrade.
Yes, I have traveled a lot in Serbia, from Subotica to Nice. The Serbian people, they look like us. How Greece was before 20 years. You are very straight nation. You know what to expect. You don't have to look in your back. You are very honest, very proud, and very straight. And I think that this is the right way to live the life. To have a good, proud, and honest life. You are hard workers like us. We have a lot of commons. And we had 400 years, my nation, the Ottomans. You had them 500 years. And we still speak Serbian and Greek.
True.
We are a little stubborn, both of us.
Now, I would like to hear from you from this perspective. You are the member of European Union and Serbia.
European cooperation.
Yeah, European cooperation, European community or whatever. We are still not. And that's the main subject for the last 20 plus years from that Milosevic time. We were only talking about here European Union. That's the only alternative. And in Serbia, it's a special way to enter this by you have to accept this, you have to be, I would say, a lot of blackmails from this center of rulership from Europe, directed to Serbian government for all these 20 plus years. And what is your attitude about this, considering that you are living in a country that in your childhood wasn't obligated with European cooperation as much as now? What would be your message to Serbian government or Serbian people?
My father was a sailor. He was working like an electrician in cargo and diesel boats all over the world. And in this period, Yugoslavia was the third biggest power in the world. And
we are talking about 80s or something.
Yeah.
70s.
And 70s and 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very famous about the building of the ships in your ports in Split, and he knew a lot about your culture. Tito had a cooperation of all the country, and you had the red passports. You could travel all over the world. You were free, but you haven't the benefits of the country, like you were in the hood of the Yugoslavia, protected, but and free at the same time. And they are telling us that in Europe we have something like this. We don't have something like this. It's a free trading jungle. Who is stronger is going to observe the resources in the small countries. The blackmail is everywhere in the cooperation, in the governments. If you don't do what they are telling you, maybe you can be bombed from someone. You know.
Unfortunately, yeah. We experience this. And how you perceive Serbia? How it changed? You can see people, it's difficult to notice this if you are living here on daily basis, but if you come from time to time as you are doing, can you see some changes in atmosphere in people from 2016 until these days?
Yes, the change is starting in the schools. They know that this is the good way if they want to change the nation and to press the culture of the nation. So, like when I was young and they were telling us, you have to be very well educated because in Europe it's more competitive, the market. So we must have a lot of education to be competitive for the workers that they are coming to work in our country. before 6 years, with the locals that I was speaking, they were telling me the same story that I was hearing before 20 years. And but they were still enjoying. They were still have their work in the afternoon, going out, smile. They were smiling a lot. The pace of Beograd was slow. The kafana were full of people. They were singing, enjoying the life. They were social to each other. Now I can see the signs that I have in Greece. The people are looking straight. They are running. They are looking their clock. What time I have to wake up to go in the work. What time I'm finishing my work. They are working a lot of hours, and the salary is a little bit better. But the life is a lot worse.
Mm.
This is my perception for the changes of the last 6 years. What do you think?
Yeah, mostly agree with this. Yeah, I cannot see it as you, because I live here on daily basis, and it's changes are not dramatic. It's not today is something and tomorrow
it can be dramatic, because we have the studies of the political science now in all the universities globally. They know that they can push you hard, and we are stubborn, and the Serbians and the Greeks, they are going to give us a little cheese, and they are going to push us slowly to see how we can take. It's a science, so the process sometimes it can be a little bit elegant.
Yeah.
For them.
As it is now.
Yeah.
As it is now. You started talking about these bonds between Greece and Serbia. We have many social, how to say, groups, formal groups, called Greco-Serbian Friendship Community and everything. And do you know anything about historical bonds? What do you know about historical bonds between Serbian and Greek people?
Our story a little bit is common. We had brothers to kill brothers after the Second World War. We had a war inside Greece. A lot of people, they don't know about it. A little bit before the dictatorship in Greece.
Excuse me, dictatorship Papadopoulos.
Yeah.
Dictatorship it lasted from middle 60s until...
Yeah, until 74.
74.
I remember right.
So you were born in right moment when it passed.
My father and my mother, they were a little bit waiting about me.
Clever decision.
Clever.
For your sake. and after that, because I suspect, I can tell you from my perspective that I, as a kid, we were often going to Greece, mostly in that Macedonian part, northern part, and to the seaside for holidays in summertime. And I always, and even nowadays, when I come to the Greek shore, I feel like being at home. You know, something, it's maybe because the Greek people from that northern part, Thessaloniki, Kavala, that part, Halkidiki, many of them, I acknowledge this later, that they studied Belgrade University or Niš University or in Sarajevo, you know. So many of them speak Serbian, and really, it's not only that. It's I must tell you that actually it happened once that when me with my family and the English guy applied for room at the same time, you know, they accepted me and not the English guy, and that's it's incident compared to other countries. If I would go to France,
the English in the history, it's another story. It's another story. Some tales they are telling in the end of the Second World War. The English, they were more brutal than the Germans because a lot of times they didn't. We have stories in Greece. They didn't follow the rules of surrender. Near Milos, they bombed two boats with people inside that they had surrendered their weapons, Germans, and they bombed them and they killed them. Anyway, the history has a lot of black holes.
True.
So it's normal to want the Serbians than the English.
We have also, you talked about this bond and connection during the World War I. We call it also the Great War, from the 1914 to 1918, and it was that Golgot or that exodus where our people and our army went through Kosovo and Albanian mountains to the Corfu Island.
To Corfu, yes.
Yeah, and then they went to Thessaloniki, and we know from our history books that it was maybe the crucial moment of the World War I. It was another bond.
And you still have every year the ceremonies, because I was lucky to be around people that they were working in the minister that the Serbian ministry, that they are going to all these ceremonies, and every year you have ceremonies in the cemeteries of Corfu, of Thessaloniki. Mm-hmm. They are big.
Yeah, you know, the people usually when going to Greece, many of Serbian people go to the seaside, mostly in northern Greece. So it's Thessaloniki and...
You like to drive like us, to take your car and to go for holidays. It's more practical, and the people are very near to you.
Yes,
they are very warm. I remember I was in the army in Thessaloniki, near Thessaloniki, in special forces, in a place near to Stavros Asprovalta.
Oh,
when
yeah.
I was going out to the bars, in the bars they had Serbian music. They didn't have Greek music.
Yeah, I think that in Asprovalta was NATO base.
No, it was a Greek base.
Greek base.
Yeah. I can't speak about it because it's a secret base of Greece, and we can't speak about it public.
Okay. I know that I spent some years there as a kid and afterwards. But what is the thing that I noticed is that people coming from here, from Serbia, going to Greece at the Greek seaside, they prefer this. Usually, people prefer going to Greece than going to Montenegrin seaside or Croatian or, I don't know, Albanian, even though its distance is the same, more or less.
I'm working in tourism 30 years, and the answer is a little simple. It's in our nature. The people, when they are traveling for tourism, they need two basic things: first to feel safe, and after someone to help them with informations to have good holidays, because they are precious for all of us. So it's a warm place, Greece. You feel the hospitality, and this make you comfortable, like you are on home, and for this you like have holidays in Macedonia.
Yeah. And what you think? Let's go into depth with some things you have in Greece. You had it.
We had it.
You had in Greece. Yeah. I usually when we go to Greece, we go to Thessaloniki. It's one of my favorite cities all over the world. Thessaloniki, I really like Thessaloniki.
Thessaloniki is look like the mentality and the heartbeat like Beograd.
Yeah. Even though Thessaloniki has sea, we have
two rivers.
Yeah, it's true. But open market in Thessaloniki was always interesting. We were buying that product, sweet product called chetenalva. You know what is this? This sweet thing. In Serbian we call it like this. I don't know in English or in Greek. And difference. Can you share your view on differences? Open markets like Kalenic, like Bailoni market.
We don't have open markets like we had before. We had some small markets in some neighborhoods one time per week, and now they are taxing everything. It's very difficult for the local to put their products. When I see Kalenic market, I was living in Vracar, and I was in shock. You know, you still have products for the people in good prices and helping and the people of the country to sell their goods. You still have this relation, the local relation.
Do you find it more appropriate or better to have this or that European model of you have to sign contract, you have to have your counts, fiscal counts, and because you know this nowadays it's one hot subject in Belgrade. They want to introduce these things that you have to have fiscal counts even in open markets here in Belgrade.
The story, I remember the story has started the last 3 years about the markets that you have. They don't like them. They want to have the big supermarkets like we have now in Greece.
You know, 20 years ago, I think in 2020 was the year that Mercator, it's from Slovenia, franchise that opened in New Belgrade. It was first big hypermarket and shopping center in Belgrade. And after that, year after year, there is tons of them. I don't know, maybe 10, 15 huge shopping centers, shopping malls in Belgrade. At the time,
I have been one time in the new shopping mall that you have near in the construction area, down from the central train station. But now they are constructing.
Yeah, they are constructing. But my question would be, at that time, I don't know, kids from secondary school, or even from primary schools, were having excursions in Greece, and part of trip was to visit Continent shopping mall near Thessaloniki. At that time, we didn't have it here, So I, from this point of view, I can say that you were, even though you are geographically further away from France, Germany, England, you were part of Europe in that in that sense, you know, that capitalistic.
The story is the same. In '93, it was my first trip with my school to London for a degree in English, and it was the first time that I see a shopping mall, Marks and Spencer. All the kids were, what is this? It was new pictures for us. So I think it was the same for you. But when you are a kid, you don't know what is the reaction in the society and in the businesses and the economy of a country.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we talked before.
You were excited to see shopping Marks and Spencer.
The problem is that the teachers, they were bringing us to the malls and not to the archaeological sites or to the monuments of your country or my country. Yeah.
So we got used to, oh, come on, give us shopping mall here. And afterwards, the consequence is that you don't have open markets, thanks to shopping malls.
One of the last, for me, castles of Serbia are the open markets.
Castles of freedom.
Exactly. You have resist. You still have them, and I think it's a big fight. I have a friend, a Greek friend, that he is living in Beograd and he has a shop in the market. It's not easy. It's not easy. Every year is more difficult. I see him before some days and he wasn't smiling so much. He was more flat because you can see from the eyes of the people. If they are thinking too many things, they have too many problems. He was more happy before 6 years, more relaxed.
You talk about your friend, but you, as I know, whenever you come here and stay in Belgrade, you like to spend your time in cafes, restaurants, and to look around. And can you
I like
see
to walk a lot.
Mm-hmm.
To walk the city from Vracar until the river.
And can you, from your point of view, is there more smiling faces these days or 6 years ago?
You know the answer.
Yeah, but for the audience.
6 years ago, yes.
And it's not only about...
You were always good athletes. Now you are running more fast in the streets.
Yeah.
I have to go on the side. It's like Athens. Like Athens, you can see who is the tourist and who is the worker. The pace is very fast in the walking areas because everyone has to run.
And how the other subject that I wanted to introduce is how you and your family, as let's say one family business, survived this corona crisis that lasts more than 2 years. Here, and did it change something in your business?
Like I told you before, we are coming from simple people, and we didn't find so much, but we work all of the family a lot, and we build a local company in our culture, in our how we want to enjoy and to work in the company. So our boss is the company. It has to be healthy, and me and my family, we have a salary. All the other workers that we have, they are like friends. We respect them. We are like a small community. So we were prepared for everything. If the company is healthy, we can survive. But it wasn't the same for everyone. A lot of people they were investing. They were in the timing of building their companies. They didn't have a lot of help from the government.
Mm-hmm.
Simple people that they are artists, that they are musicians, that they are working in a cafe, in restaurants. They were out of a job because we had the quarantines.
So how did you? Can you describe
the
this
quarantine?
whole the quarantine and everything what happened? But I want to compare these lockdowns, quarantines, Greek.
We have a fact. The virus was real. My father was a sailor, like I told you before, and it has been done again in Asia. Before 20 years, they had a corona, very dangerous virus, and they succeed to keep it in Asia.
That it's
For this,
official stuff.
for this you can official, yeah. For this you can see everyone is coming from Japan, from China. They have used to wear masks, and before some years we were laughing with them why they are wearing masks. So the story is a little tricky for me.
Yeah, I didn't want to enter in these
The
details.
truth
but
is in
in the middle.
the middle.
Yeah, but what about the measures? About this? I don't know. For the limitations. We had some limitations. A lot of them.
All over Europe, the last years of the capitalism, the health system is very bad. Even in England, the best health system in Europe it's in Germany. The last years, but even their system it couldn't handle the situation. So they had the excuse to lock us down.
By doing this, okay, maybe you and your family were lucky, but by doing this, can you see what happened? What are the consequences in sector of huge corporations in Greece, for example, I don't know, pharmaceutical companies, medical companies, and on the other hand, what are the consequences for the small businesses? I suppose what you will say, but in Serbia, I would say that in these 2 years, small ones bankrupted mostly or took a lot of damage, and the big ones.
We have it a little bit further from you. We take some money from Europe and we give them to the TV stations and to the banks, and of course to the big companies. So we done it a little better from you.
Yeah, I understand.
You have the recipe for the next years.
What to do?
If you want to take the soul of Serbia, because for me the main reason that I'm coming in Serbia is that I'm still feeling my soul here. You are still grounded. You are still fighting for your principles and for who you are. So it's still hope.
Yeah.
You are not in Europe.
Hope
a lot of
is-
people are coming and give you, you can be like this in Europe. But one of my best moments when I was coming in Serbia, it was usually I'm coming with my car from Athens and I like all the way to Beograd. So I have to pass from Skopje. In Skopje, sometimes they ask you money. Not to bother you, not to delay you. It's their system.
You mean on the customs?
Yeah, on customs. So, and we have to have the international insurance for the cars. I always have it. And
yeah, green card. We call
yeah,
it
green card, exactly. And the last years I have it in my phone. It's not green. So one of these times I was in Skopje and they were bothering me. It's not green. I was showing them with my phone. What are you telling me? It's not green. And I was upset. I told them, would you like to call my embassy? What is going to be? So when I passed all this situation and I was in the borders of Serbia, there was a woman, a police woman in your custom, and I asked her, would you like to have my green card? And she was like, no, this is Serbia. So
yeah,
I was feeling a little bit, now I'm protected again.
yeah, more comfortable. Mm-hmm. That's true.
It's like a hug, you know. We have to have our humanity. I'm telling it, and because I'm having guests. My business is I have the people to help them to enjoy their holidays. So we do it for living, like everyone in his area. But we have to keep our soul and to care about people. The biggest problem is that they want to create a nation, a global nation, people without feelings and not to care about what's happening next to us. Because if we don't care about what is happening next to us, we are not going to react to anything. United, divide and rule.
Yeah.
It's the oldest rule for the politics.
I agree.
So
It's old.
Živeli.
Latin. Živeli. It's the first time that I say živeli in this show. That's for everything you have to have the first time. As you said, you were talking about empathy between people, to care about others, to see what the needs of others, and it's not only about the green card.
Even to see someone in the street and an old person, someone needs a small help and to help him. We have to be humans.
Sure. You were talking about green card. Green card, when people usually, if they choose some other destination that they go by car for a summer holiday, they one of the main reasons to avoid Greece is that green card that you have to have for Macedonia, North Macedonia. Excuse me, because to pass through North Macedonia, you have to have this green card, and you don't need it for Greece, as I remember. You need it for Macedonia. But people found the other way. They go through Bulgaria, and then they avoid this.
I have another story from the other destination.
Please.
Well, in October, it was the last time that I was in Serbia. And I was with my car, and I was vaccinated, and we had all these rules about entering the countries, going out. So when I was coming back to Greece, I didn't have any problem to Serbia, to Skopje. And in the customs of Greece, I didn't have the internet in my phone. It was already dead. So I'm going to the police and I tell them I don't have internet to have the PDF for the perform of to go inside the country. And the police woman, she told me, I don't know how it's working. So I had to ask around, and I actually some kids in the custom, I pay some money and they help me to go inside my country. After 2 hours.
That's always that way around. For the end, I would like to talk about this European Union. Serbia in European Union. You have the experience as a Greek citizen. What are the benefits and what are the goods and bads being the member of this, how you say, European cooperation?
Trading cooperation.
Trading cooperation, yeah. As I remember, it was the basic idea between France and Germany to be that trading cooperation. The start, if you look in the history of European Union, for I don't know, carbon and oil, to protect their own economies, even though they were the enemies, these countries in World War II. But anyway, after that, I forgot. Do you remember what year did you enter the European Union, Greece?
I don't remember precisely. I think it was in the start of 80s, 83, 84, something like this.
Yeah, so it brought you many other ice creams and
I remember
toys.
one day I was going to have an ice cream with drachmas, like you have dinners, and it was like 10 cents an ice cream, and after it was €2 the day after.
Considering all this, what would be your advice to Serbian people, to Serbian government? Would it be clever to hurry into this European cooperation, trading corporation, or European Union, whatever you call it, or to choose maybe some other way?
Our countries, both of our countries, they are blessed and cursed in the same time, because our location is very important. Greece is between so many crossroads. Serbia, the network of all the trucks, all the companies is passing from your country. For this, before 6 years, I start seeing how they are giving money for the roads, for the network.
Here in Serbia.
Yeah. I see some programs, and they were from 2014 to 2024, so I see the signs that they are moving Serbia to Europe. But speaking with the people of Serbia, no one knows about it. I can understand the signs because I have seen it happening to my country. So after you put tolls, and now it's more expensive to come in Serbia. And of course, you see in the roads more trucks, the corporations are moving faster and faster. Everyone is telling about Beograd, is like the little Paris, because you are near to so many capitals, 80 kilometers from here, 70 kilometers from Sofia, you are very near to a lot of other capitals. So, if they want to have some trading agreements, you can have them, but maybe you can take the example of the English, to have your own currency, to in a way to control the value of the money. So you can be a little bit like partners with the Europeans. You don't have to go inside. They need you anyway. So it's important to find the right cards to stay partners, and the country to be in your hands. Because if you go in Europe, you don't have your country. The laws, the decisions are coming from Europe. You have to follow the rules. This is the deal.
Understand.
It's so simple.
Understand.
It's like the United States that they have their own government and they can take some small decisions in the States, but the general...
Nice advice, nice piece of advice. I would like to wish you a nice stay in Belgrade.
Thank you.
To have a good time and to come back again. And for you, dear audience, if you liked this conversation...
It was my first time doing something like this. And
it's my honor, especially
sorry
because
about I was a little nervous about it.
No. You were really great.
But you know, I do it with my heart because the Serbian people, they are and very well educated and they have big heart and we are coming from special roots, both of our countries. So,
thank you. I would agree with this. And if you like this conversation with Panagiotis, press like, subscribe, share with your friends, family, and until the next episode, we send you regards, me and Panagiotis, and bye.
Ciao.